good deal. So I'm glad to have you on here. We've talked a lot before in the background. I've kind of explained what Umoja is. Without going into a ridiculous, stupid, crazy amount of information, just have a conversation. I think that's the coolest and the best way to do all this. And you'll notice from the people here who are in here, everyone's kind of the same way. No one's expecting you to bend over and tell them anything special. So what's up? How you been?
I've been good. That was such a great intro. Like, like what? That was epic. Thank
Well,
you.
good. See that this is the thing. We do things a little different here. We just keep it real and conversate and talk amongst each other. There ain't any. It's not super corporate over here. We're a private group on purpose. Everyone kind of knows everyone. We talk often to each other. So, I seen, if I'm not mistaken, y'all put on Twitter. Y'all made like $10 million worth of volume the other day. Is that right, or something like that?
I think as today we're at $17 million of notional volume. So the
Shoo!
amount of people are trading on the platform.
The
Well,
goal
not
was
trading,
10.
but
Yeah.
yeah.
What
Yep.
was goal like 10, and y'all went to 17?
That yeah, the goal was 10 by the end of the month. So it was awesome.
Shoo! So check it out. This is the cool thing. Like we had just talked. I had just talked to them in the background. I had just started looking it up. Just created the little video, and in just that amount of time, everything went down. It would have been the perfect time for everyone to jump on the platform and use it. Why? Because everything went down, and that's the perfect time to start hedging. You saw me say, "Hey, I would like to hedge the bet at 59,500." Bitcoin went to 59,750. So it was right there, right at the level where I thought it might go to. Hasn't quite got there yet, but there's still a possibility that might happen. That's the whole point. That's the whole point of Umoja. You can manage your risk. You can take a automatic kind of short without having to do it, and that will close itself and then pop over there and add to your spot bag. Can you explain a little bit how that works, Karima, so they kind of understand? So I think some people are confused because we do shorts and longs on another channel inside the server here all the time, and they manually control, when you open it, when to close it. Without going into incredible detail, can you kind of explain how those close and open in the background?
I could not explain how those clothes open in the background.
That's the quant
Don't
guy
give
who
me the
does that for you
lion.
guys, right?
What'd you say?
That's the quant guy you work with who does that.
Yes, yes. And I mean, Robbie makes it sound human, but yes, he makes it sound very human. But he can, I'm sure, can chime in the chat, or if we left and came back, push to talk. Oh, here we are.
He's trying. He's going in and out trying to get it fixed. Nothing to worry. I kind of understand how it works. That was probably my only really question that I forgot to ask the other day was, when does the system recognize that the hedge is not needed anymore? And when does the hedge flip over and kind of add to your quote unquote spot bag and, kind of connect and roll over and start just closing hedges off because they're done? I know that probably isn't a question for you because, like you said, you're not the person who built that in the background. But that was the only part I'm super curious about. Everything else is pretty straightforward and simple, and I plan on using this moving forward. I just didn't use it this time. I just showed how to use it. I didn't actually do it, but you guys went from 7 million to 17 million in a couple days. That's wild. That means a bunch of people caught on and were using it, which is awesome.
I'm hoping that people are speculating on the halving. That would be ideal, right? That they use this platform, and a part of it is going long without getting liquidated, right? So go long on the halving, see what happens, and what happens is that you don't get liquidated. You get, the best way explained to me is that I like to use is when you get unraveled out of your position. And so, for instance, if you have car insurance and you don't pay your premium, then instead of losing your insurance, we'll just decrease your coverage. So instead of having, 500,000 coverage with your car insurance, now we'll only be covering and trading for 250,000 coverage.
Right.
And then, so I think that was the best way and helpful for me.
That's a cool way of thinking about it. So if you guys could think for a moment, you put $3,000 worth of AVAX on there and you take a hedge on AVAX to go down to $1. Now that's probably not smart or realistic, but you could do that if you wanted to. You take a hedge, go to $1. It doesn't ever go to $1. So rather than the thing chasing it for $1 forever, it just wouldn't give you as big of a hedge. It just wouldn't take as big of a risk, and you wouldn't make or lose as much that way. That's the whole idea behind it. Make it a smarter money play. And for y'all who don't understand how hedge funds work, it's very simple. It's very simple. You give them money and they buy for you. That's it. Now, the things in the background that you don't see are when things aren't going great and they know things aren't going great, but they are required by you to continue to buy. They buy for you, yes, and then they bet against it, knowing good and well it's not going to work out. All right? They bet against it for a certain period of time based on technical analysis. That chart runs out and stops. Then they close that hedge and add more to what you required them to already buy. All right? This way, you make money every single quarter, every single year. Now, you're not making a killing, but you're making something every single quarter, every single year. For those of you who have 401ks or IRAs or any other simple type of retirement account, that's how it works in the background. That's how hedge fund managers make so much damn money. They get a portion of every single time they do this. So, simply put, as long as you give them money, they will continue to win. How about don't give them any more money? Do it yourself, which is something else that drew me kind of to you guys' platform. The fact that I can just do this myself and I ain't got to have nobody in the middleman. That middleman stuff ticks me off a lot. I don't want anybody to help me. I want to spend my money and use my money how I want to. If I want to blow it, let me blow it. But don't tell me that I got to use a certain person to do that. I'm not cool with that. I never will be. A lot of y'all guys on here know that I don't let anyone manage my money except me. That's it. Nobody. I plan on keeping it that way. I don't want anybody to tinker with anything. I think Rob just got it working. Rob, give me an audio check. See if you can speak and hear.
What's up, guys?
Blow!
I appreciate you. I'm in. Finally.
Sweet. So I got a question for you.
Yes, sir.
Can you explain to me the only real question that I've got, and you might not even know the answer, might be more the quant guy. When does it close the hedge and stop and just roll it over into the spot side?
Yeah. So hedges and boosts, they're only closed. They're only closed automatically. Let me correct myself. They're only closed automatically based off of the term date that you've set.
Perfect.
Yeah, they only close automatically based off the term date that you set. So even if you are in a situation where, let's say, you got a boost, and again, guys, a boost, it just means I'm betting that this thing's price will increase. That's my bet. And let's say your collateral is getting low. It's getting toward that 5% threshold, and you see that, right? And your status turns up to, I need to top up, and then this typically happens when, I'm betting that the price is going to increase, and that is not happening. It is going in the opposite direction, and you're probably aware without even checking the DAT that you're likely not going in the right direction with your boost. It won't close in that situation if your collateral becomes too low. It'll just change your exposure, right? So let's say you're betting, a notional of 10 Bitcoin, and Bitcoin just like it has been this past week. And actually, you were right on the money from the Twitter space in terms of your having prediction. I'm pretty sure you said, I think it's going to top out around 69, and that's what it looks like. It's getting toward there, but it's not going too much beyond. It's not going into the 70s or 80s that I think people thought it was going to do this week. So
the beauty of TA, brother. The beauty of TA.
Yeah. Yeah. Carolina Keith was on the money on that. I was thinking about that earlier this week. And so, what happens is that, your exposure going 10 Bitcoin long, right, will half and then go to 5 Bitcoin long. Now your whole position is reset. Now you have enough collateral. Now you're good. But again, if prices continue to go against the direction that you're betting, then that, position will continue to lose value, right? And that's exactly how a normal option would work.
Right. Cool. That's exactly the kind of stuff I wanted to hear. So whenever you're ready to close the option, it closes based on the date. That's pretty neat. Yeah. I had it pulled up here. Let me pull it back up. There we go. So essentially, I've got an example here. I've picked boost. I've got AVAX selected. I don't have my wallet connected or anything. I'm just showing you. I got will go up in value by August 27th, 2024, right? I've got for a strike price above $40. So if by the date of August 27th, 2024, we are above $40, I win this bet, quote unquote. I win the boost, quote unquote. Then I can choose if I wanted to close it. Can I keep this position going past when I have chosen to go up by? Can I keep it going then, Rob?
So this is a feature that will be coming. So you'll be able to
Okay.
do two very cool things here. One, you'll be able to change your and push it back if you're making a lot of money. And sometimes this happens where you're up 50% and you're like, I don't want to stop now, right? Um, but not only will you be able, and we'll let people know this is coming out soon in the next couple of weeks. Not only will you be able to do that, but you'll also be able to withdraw profits from your active position without closing it.
Ah.
Um, and yes, and so that's very helpful, right? Because if let's say you see yourself, so as he said, right, we're betting that AVAX is going to go above $40, on 27th of August, and it happens, and it goes up to $10. Now, you want to keep your position open because you see there's opportunity to make more money, but you also might want to be like, well, I do kind of want some of this money just in case,
Mm-hmm.
Crypto, it has a lot of twists and turns. You'll actually be able to, and let's say you're up $200 in terms of your profit, you'll be able to take $100 out, but keep your position going. And that you cannot do in traditional option markets. That's impossible to do. You would have to sell the entire option and then buy another one, but you wouldn't be the same position. It would be a new one. And so that is also coming soon.
That's very cool. I talk about this a lot of times. I say, hey, maybe get your initial money out or get your profits out. And then you leave what's in there riding, and it's more of a house money bet rather than your money bet. If somebody's ever been to Vegas and you're playing craps, you bet $25 and you win 200. You take the $200 off the table and put it in your pocket, and you continue to play with the 25. That's something that we preach all the time in here is taking profits. You guys have seen me over the past several days, multiple times each week, take a little profits, take a little profits, take a little profit. I even sold some that were in the profits to rebuy others that weren't, right? And I got my positions in a little bit better spots. I reduced some of the risk. That's exactly what he's talking about, reducing some of the risk. So there was another one I was going to ask. Oh, shoot. Oh, right now you've got AVAX, Bitcoin, and Ethereum. Are you guys going to add more of those?
Yes, we will. So we're thinking about, and here's some alpha for y'all for being nice enough to be giving of your time. So we are in discussions of adding Sol, so Solana.
Oh, sweet.
Also thinking, yeah, and then also thinking a few stable coins, so USDC, EuroC, USDT, and some of you all might be wondering, like, why the hell would you add a stable coin? Like, it's not nearly as it's not gonna, not meant to at least go up or down in value. But obviously in the crypto space, if you have a lot of stable coins and you're going between them, that can cost a lot of money. And this is a issue that centralized exchanges and protocol and network foundations have a lot. And so it's effectively a depeg, insurance, for lack of a better words, to hedge a stable coin versus something that's more volatile like ETH, BTC, AVAX, SOL. But one thing that I would maybe turn the question back to you, and also your community. I mean, what would you all like to see? We can support a lot.
That's a good
more
question.
than most.
So do you really want to tick some people off? You put XRP on there.
Oh yeah. That's actually a good. That's a good. We can support XR. I am literally going to. I'm gonna put that in my notes right now.
So I'm not an XRP maxi or anything like that. That's how I started in crypto, and that's how I never made money at first, right? So it took years for me to figure out what I was doing wrong, and I eventually figured that out. Well, it would have been beautiful if you guys had Umoja back then, because I would have been killing it. You understand? But I didn't have it then. So I know there's a lot of people out there with XRP. I know there's a lot of people who, simply put, refuse to let it go. And if that's the case, well, here's an opportunity for you to use it in a better way. Really, I would say any top 25 coin. We have a whole section in our Discord for top 25 coins that we just do TA on, right? Um,
Yeah.
it would be excellent if you had every top 25. And I know that's not easy because they're going to bounce in and bounce out, but a lot of them in the top 25 are plus 1 billion in total
Yeah.
market cap to begin with, and above that they're probably 3 or 4 billion minimum in volume. Um, so that would be I mean, if you could pull that off to get the top 25 in there, I mean, that's going to hit XLM, XRP, Ethereum Classic. You're going to get all of them in there. Doge, SHIB, and those are a lot of people. A lot of people, especially like Doge and SHIB, those guys are
Yeah.
cult. They're cult like.
They are. And actually, it's interesting you bring that up because even supporting, so to give a little bit of background, I mean, we can support the top 100 to 200 cryptos by market cap right now, and
Okay.
particularly for Doge, where you have, obviously less of the traditional technical analysis that you would apply to, I think, higher cap tokens like BTC and ETH, for example. But still, to your point, I mean, a lot of community worth doing it for. So I absolutely agree with you.
Yeah.
Absolutely
Yeah.
agree with you.
I actually own a little bit of Doge and SHIB. I've already done what you said a second ago that you were talking about taking some of the profits out on Doge and SHIB. We bought those very, very low. And on the way up, I went ahead and sold some and got my profits out, right? I did exactly what you were talking about, de-risking. Thing is, I know most people won't do that. So
Yeah.
for a protocol like this and something that we're doing like this makes it all the more worth it because we know good and well people aren't going to listen. People aren't going to play the game like you should play it. They're gonna go trying to be incredible with it, and we know good and well that doesn't work. You have to be able to hedge your bets sometimes, which is the beautiful thing about all this. You can be able to hedge it. Plus, you can bet for it. You can boost. You can make a call option out of it. I think that's a wonderful idea. I'm not telling you to get all of them on there. And for what it's worth, I wouldn't be a super degenerate and start adding degenerate coins to it because then you're asking for trouble, like with a hat, WIF. The thing is, I think that thing got like $1.2 billion in it in a matter of 3 weeks. Can you really call it degenerate if it's got $1.2 billion in it? That's hard to say, right? So I don't know. That's just a suggestion, I guess, because I know how many people are loyal to certain coins, and I know they're not going to want to sell them. So if they could make a little bit more money off of them and make them into a little bit more smart money, man, that would open up a whole lot more opportunities. I own all 3 of these that you guys already have listed too, so that's not a problem. It's just that it would be really dope if there was some of those cult ones in there, so to speak. I guess AVAX kind of is a cult one, but not as much as those others. I know you're not on the quant side, but can you kind of explain the TA that you guys used a little bit, if you can? I know you might not be able to, but
No. I certainly can speak to it in a way that hopefully gives people more of an understanding as to how the underlying function works when it comes to synthetic options on Umoja. And this is also something that we're going to be fortifying our technical documents as well, just to provide more transparency to the community who do want to see some of the formulas for this to feel more comfortable using the protocol. So the high level is you probably already know is that these aren't options at all. So what's happening is that you're depositing 10% collateral, and you're depositing it into a trading algorithm that trades perpetual futures. So another type of derivative that doesn't have the terms that traditional options have because they're perpetual, right? And that's a very, very important. The second most important point is that futures markets are much more liquid than options markets. So that means the spreads or the costs of participating and trading in futures markets are going to be significantly less, up to 30 times less for things like ETH and BTC than doing the exact same thing in options markets. And specifically, this algorithm trades it with leverage, 20x leverage.
okay.
That's important because this can help reduce your costs of going long and going short. It's particularly if you don't have to pay principal, right, which is non-refundable money that you have to pay, right, to get access to an option versus putting down a collateral that, depending on how things go, you get back because obviously trading fees are taken out of that. So that's the foundation. 20x leverage, trading of perpetual futures And then the next part is that trading is is used to replicate or clone the value of the option that you're effectively creating. All right. So, for
Mm-hmm.
example, if we are taking a boost on Bitcoin, that's a clone of a call option on Bitcoin. We're going long on Bitcoin, and we are facilitating this underlying perpetual futures trading to replicate what the option value would be at that specific term that you set and that specific strike that you set. Um, and this doesn't mean taking one short future or long future, whichever. I mean, it's continuous, and it's based on how the market is changing over time. Use a little bit of Black Scholes in terms of how to facilitate that. But there's also other things that we take into consideration, like maintaining your margin so that you have liquidation protection if things go the opposite way. Um, and yeah, that's from a high level. That's effectively how it works. Now, again, the benefits of doing this, because the question is like, why the hell would you all do all of this? It seems like a lot of work. And again, it's because if you clone something from something that's more liquid, or from a market that's more liquid and more flexible than that original thing, right? Options, you are going to see those benefits in the clone that you wouldn't see in the original, right? So, for example, being able to choose pretty much any date, as your term. It's not something that you can do with traditional options. Being able to have liquidation protection if you're betting long and everything is, falling, right? And prices are going down and not being liquidated. Another one of those features that, comes from, participating or having a trading algorithm that's doing this. And then, the last is like those other features that I told you that were incoming, like being able to withdraw from your position while keeping it open or extending the term as
Mm-hmm.
it's open. These are things that you just wouldn't be able to do, or very much part of the nature of using futures trading rather than options trading.
Which is cool because, like, if you guys don't know, when you take an option, you're stuck in that option until you close it or extend it or do what you're going to. You can't just sell part of it. That's not how it works. It's a contract. You're stuck into it, right? When you guys know also, when you're doing a futures trade, if you feel like closing half the futures trade halfway in, well, you can just choose to do that. You can just go over there and click the button and take half of it if you want, or a quarter, or 10%, or 90%, or whatever you want. Obviously, you pay a premium to be in on that trade. You're paying the other side while you're trading on a futures trade. That's how it works. If you're winning, you pay. If you're losing, you get paid. It's not very much, but you get some. Now, if you're a degenerate like I was back in the day and you take a $45,000 XRP long, hey, guess what? You're going to be paying out a lot of fees. I know that because I was paying $800 3 times per day to be in that trade. That sucked. The good news is when you kind of replicate the futures market without actually doing it, you don't have to pay a ton of that. Is that correct too?
Yes,
Perfect.
that's correct. Yeah.
Perfect. That's awesome because I don't really like paying $800 3 times a day. That sucked.
Yeah.
The good news is I got liquidated on that and that went away and I haven't done stupid stuff like that since. So, but it was fun in the moment. So I felt like I was a millionaire because that's honestly what I was doing was stupid millionaire style trades and I was not a millionaire. But those are the hard lessons that we have to learn. It would be a lot easier if we had this in 2018. If we had Umoja in 2018, yes. I wouldn't have had to freak out.
Yeah. And I would definitely, I mean, I really do appreciate, what you've been, talking to in terms of taking profits and things like that, because if the Bitcoin halving, if this time that we're in right now isn't proof that technical analysis and having a more developed strategy than just going long on, events that you think, prices should isn't like, a precursor for, how to act in the future, then I don't know what is. Right.
Yeah, I mean, fundamentally speaking, we love to talk about how well Bitcoin halving is going to do for everything, but chart wise, it doesn't mean everything just goes up immediately. In fact, we have imperial evidence to show it's going to take months before it's actually time to pop corks. You know what I mean? So there's a lot of money to be made in that time frame. There's a lot of things you can do in that time frame waiting. We know good and well where we have halving in about 9 hours. That doesn't mean price is just going to shoot up. We can look back and see that, like I've got a comparison on the screen right now between 2016 and 2024, which is kind of how I knew what to say when we were doing that spaces. And I knew we weren't going to go up to those prices because we were going to have to breach some very important levels. And I didn't see that happening yet. I knew good and well there was a slowdown period coming before halving. We hadn't had that. There was no pain at all in the market. How can you have any big ups without some pain? You got to have some pain. It's a balance in life. There's got to be a balance. There has to be some good with the bad with the good. Otherwise, you don't know how each of them feel, and you don't know how to be prepared. So I was able to see that I knew we were going to have some shorts come in. I wasn't exactly sure where. I think that should be. I don't know. I can't say should. I think you could use that as a selling point. Since you're unsure of exactly where things are going to go, take a hedge. Because you can't be positive about all this. We're just getting close. I'm just throwing at a dartboard that's closer than other people. I still have to hit the bullseye. Now, obviously, it's not as difficult for us to hit the bullseye as it is other people, but we still have to hit it. Now, we may not hit it perfect, but gosh, we stand a way better chance at hitting it and making more if we're able to hedge our bets a little bit and take less risks when necessary. I hope everyone can pick up on that. That's kind of how hedge funds do it. And that's the best part about this. I hate hedge funds. But if I could do it myself, then I would be cool with it. And this is one of the rare opportunities that I've actually seen come out that were similar.
Yeah.
Hey, what's up, Miss Crypto Mom? How you doing? I didn't just not notice that she was on here. Good to see you. I don't know if you can speak or not, but you should be able to. But if you can't, let me know if you want to also. But yeah, this was a cool thing to talk about. It's not. I haven't found it anywhere else. Are you guys aware of anyone else who's doing similar to what y'all are doing?
We have not seen it. We have not seen it. We've definitely looked.
So there you go, folks. This is literally something that hasn't existed before that they've created, and you're some of the first ones to do it. You're some of the first ones to have access to it, which is really cool to me. And hey, look, no BS, no backdoor treatment, no extra special stuff just for me. I'm just like you guys. So the fact that all this is 100% organic and real makes it even better to me. You're talking to real people, not robots. You can tell they don't have heavy, scamish foreign accents. They have regular human people accents. This is great. I mean, those little stuff matter to me. You know what I mean? When I hear someone who can barely speak, trying to speak, or sound like they're reading from a paper, it stands out to me as something I don't necessarily want to hear. And I don't hear either one of you guys talking like you're talking from a piece of paper.
Yeah. Yeah. No scripts. If we don't know the answer, we'll get back to you.
That's perfect. That's exactly what we want to hear. I know that sounds weird because this isn't going to be like other places where you've come and talked to, but that's exactly what the real like to hear. We like to hear that there ain't any scripts, ain't any BS. It's just straight up, let's make some more money together.
Yeah. That's
Well,
the goal.
do you guys got anything else? I don't want to keep you forever. I just wanted to get you guys in here to talk about this and let you guys see that we have a little bit of a different community. We don't play BS. We keep it real over here. So
No, one again, I appreciate you all even spending time and kind of letting us in, and I think the information that y'all sharing with each other is invaluable, because you don't see a lot of it, and that what you do see isn't as high quality or isn't as considerate. So kudos to you all, and then the only other thing is that one. If you come to our Telegram or to a Discord, I try to make myself available as much as possible. I'm Rob TG4 on Telegram, so if you have any questions that you want to directly to me, I will respond. And then again, if there's any assets that you all want to see, let us know. We should have smart assets, so assets based off of underlying trading strategies coming out soon. And so this will make things even more passive. So for those of you who are in the options game and taking on all this knowledge that you're getting from this community, but you also want more passive strategies that don't require you to take as much action and just hold. Those tokens are on their way, and so things like staked ETH, reinvesting into synthetic ETH call options, for example, if you're very bullish on ETH. I know a lot of Bitcoiners think that way. They're always long on Bitcoin, for
Mm-hmm.
example. Uh, and so, and if you have any ideas as to cool assets that you would like to see that are similar to that, let's exchange ideas because this is at the very beginning of everything.
So Philip asked real quick. Long story short, how do you make money with this? Simple. You own AVAX. You're already quote unquote long on it. You're probably not going to sell it because it's probably going to go up to the end of the bull market. However, there are vast periods of time when price goes down and not up. However, you may not want to sell it. You may want to just hang on to it. We talk about this all the time using the weekly chart instead of the daily chart. Well, the weekly chart looks great. Daily chart, maybe not so much. So you can add it to Umoja protocol. You can create a hedge option, which will take a short for you while you're holding on to your AVAX. Your short option goes down, goes down, goes down. You hit your strike price that you set. You hit your point. You decide you want to close your option. Whatever money you've made on that hedge adds over to your spot. You can do the same way in the up fashion. Perhaps you think things are going to go down. Oh no, I think things are going to go down, but I'm not positive. So you add it over there to Umoja. You take a call option or a boost option, and what that does is creates more volume on the way up if it goes the wrong way on you. It's kind of a hedge against what you might think is going to happen, which would be great, like we just said, for literally every Arbitrum. Oh my gosh, Arbitrum lost 80% of its value in a matter of like 4 days. So it would have been perfect. You're already going to hang on to Arbitrum. You stick it over there, you take a hedge bet on it, it goes down, and you just hit a lick. Now you can sell that same thing that you just took. You can sell that hedge and buy more spot. And now you have DCA'd, technically. You've DCA'd what you were trying to do, which is an amazing opportunity. And there's not, like you just said, there's not anything else out there like this.
Appreciate it.
Oh, of course. Karima says, would like to hear about the synthetic dollar. Can you talk about that for a minute?
Yes, yes. So this will be the first smart asset. And again, when I say smart asset, all I mean is that it's assets with underlying trading strategies that you don't have to worry about. Just by holding the asset, you have exposure to the underlying trading strategy. And so we're doing a synthetic dollar, which is just it's a token where the underlying strategy is going long and short at the same time, so that you can earn yield from the funding fees that exchanges pay for short positions in the bull run. So, when just for some background, when the market is up, right, everybody wants to go long, right? Makes sense. They think that the price is going to go up. But exchanges can't just have a long only market, right? That there's a yin and yang for everything, right? And so they have to make sure that there's short positions being taken, but nobody wants to take the short positions because everything's going up. So the way that they balance the market is that they pay fees to the opposing side. So if everything is going up and everyone wants to go long, all the people who are going long increasingly have to pay more fees. They have to pay a premium to go long because that's where everyone wants to be, right? It's like paying more money to be VIP. You got to pay more. But for those who are going to a different party that's less attended, they may get in for free, right? So they get a benefit. So they earn fees from those that are taking the less popular position. And so, again, during a time like this, you can earn, 30, 40% yields. And more importantly, this particular synthetic dollar protects your principal. So you never lose money if the market changes. And this is something that's very, very, very important to take into consideration, because I'm sure some of you all have probably heard of Athena, USDE, or other, so-called delta neutral stable coins. But the issue is that there is a risk. It is not riskless with those stable coins. Say, everything goes kaput and we're in a bear market tomorrow and just prices are going down. That APY that once was 30%, 40% that you were celebrating about can become negative. And a negative APY means I am taking money from you, right? It does not mean things stop at zero. And so this is a principal protected delta neutral position or synthetic dollar, meaning that in bad times, you lose no money and you just have your principal and that's it. You can, use it on something else, leverage it on the existing strategies that you all are learning and sharing with one another. But if in the good times, you're getting exceptional APYs that you otherwise wouldn't find pretty much anywhere else.
This is a
And
lesson
so
we
that's,
learned with Aluna, by the way. So
yes. Yes.
That
Yes.
was an algorithmic backed stablecoin, but was backed by how much money was in the Luna protocol.
Yeah.
And then once the money
Yeah.
went out of Luna protocol, there's no backing for anything else, and the cards come tumbling down.
Yes.
If you can do better than that, do better than that, right?
Yeah, and to actually that point, you know, like what's backing us? What's the collateral? The collateral for this particular synthetic dollar is Bitcoin. So is it a Bitcoin collateralized synthetic dollar?
Perfect. I like that better. Instead of using something that you guys have created, you're using something that's already there and way more of a de-risk. In my opinion, there are only two blue chips, and that's Bitcoin and Ethereum.
Yeah.
And they're going to still be volatile, but they will not be as volatile as everything else. I think we all know that. You know, we can look at prices and say, "Oh, Bitcoin's going to go to 200,000." That's great, but that's really only a 3 or 4x. Yeah. You know, AVAX might do a 40x in that period of time, but that's way more risky. So if you can back it with something like Bitcoin or Ethereum, way better off, in my opinion.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's a couple people typing. Hang on. ISO. Yeah, see, he was talking about that too. I said, if you really want to tick some people off, add XRP to it. And he says, well, we can do that. So, you know, XRP and XLM and HBAR, I think those are, no, HBAR is not in the top 25, but XRP and XLM are. So if you added those, you would have a lot more people, you know, maybe consider it. And since this is new and you guys are kind of the first ones doing it, I want you guys to be able to get all you can out of it. I want this to really take off. But the fact that it went from 7 to 17 is crazy to me. 7 million to 17 million is wild.
Yeah, yeah. It's been going. I mean, we still a lot of work to do, and to your point, a lot of assets to support. And then also, I mean, and this is something that, you know, you all please be candid, you know, if not on this call, you know, on Telegram or on Twitter, whichever, but, you know, also just user education, you know, because as you all already know on this call, I'm sure every one of us was at a point where it's like, you know, like, Carolina Keith, what the hell is an option? What is this? I don't understand what is going on. And that is something that we're also trying to minimize. We want everyone to be able to use these tools in a way that doesn't require you to be so anxious because you're not understanding what's happening or you're not understanding what you're seeing. And that's a natural thing to feel. And I've felt that way as well. You know, so that's also something that we're trying to radically improve as we add these other assets so that you all have all the resources that you need at your disposal, and can use them if you like them, and if not, no worries. Yeah.
Yeah, that's perfect. And especially for people who are new into this and don't care to learn all the intricacies of the financial markets because you don't have time, you have kids, a life, a job, everything else. It's perfect. It takes it out and makes it way easier. I don't need to explain to you what an MCO is or what third rail derivatives are or why you should be straddling instead of strangling. You don't need to. Most people have no clue what anybody's talking about when they start talking in the lingo. And the fact that most of that lingo is taken out is a big selling point for me. You know, simply put, we like to take people who know nothing and bring them into the light. I think this helps do that. Anybody else got any other questions? Because this has been awesome. This is way better than Twitter Spaces because you don't have to worry about what you can say. You can say whatever you want. You can goof off. You don't have to be all corporate and high and mighty. This is why we like it, man. It's way better here. All right. Well, listen, I don't think anybody else has got anything. Thank y'all for coming. I appreciate both of y'all coming on here. This is awesome. I got the whole thing recorded for you. I'll send it. I'll put it on Google Drive for you guys and send it to you so you have it. And you can kind of go through it. And if you want to change anything or, you know, make notes and corrections or whatever you can. And I'll put it over on the Discord for everybody else who missed it. You'll have it there for you. But listen, thank y'all for coming. Rob, Kareem, this is awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.
I appreciate you, brother.
All right, y'all have a good one. All right, enjoy Havens in about 8.5 hours. Y'all be ready. Woo. We're getting drunk.
All right, I'll see y'all.
Y'all be good. Thank y'all.
There you go.